Good morning. This meeting of the Blair County Board of Commissioners will come to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent reflection, after which we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nicole, can you take a roll call of those who may be joining us?
Sure. We
by
do
phone?
have, yes, we do have a participant joining by phone. If you could state your name, it is *6 to unmute.
Ellen Schmidt.
Good morning. Thank you. Is there anyone else joining us remotely? Okay, not hearing anyone else. That is roll.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Under item 5 on your agenda, you'll see the schedule of upcoming meetings. We are announcing at this time that the public budget meeting that was originally scheduled for 2 o'clock this afternoon has been canceled. Move on now and open the meeting to any public comment. Okay, hearing none. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Webster?
Thank you. I want to let everyone know that this Saturday, October 28th, from 10:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. at Fort Roberdeau, there is a Veterans Day tribute for the veterans and their caregivers. If you or anyone you know is a veteran, please let them know about this event. There will be, at 10:30, we'll begin with coffee for everyone. Apparently that's a very favorite drink among veterans. And then the program will begin at 1 o'clock, at 11 o'clock. There's a speaker who will make a living history presentation. And after that, there will be a delicious lunch, which is free for the veterans and their caregivers and families from noon till 1, which will have Mariana subs provided by Del Grosso's. Now that should be enough to get everybody there. So it sounds like it'll be a nice event, and we want to honor the veterans. And it is not on Veterans Day. I have been telling people it was on Veterans Day, but it is this Saturday, the 28th. Please make note of that, and please attend. They would be happy to have you there. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Webster. Commissioner Burke? I just want to take a minute to remind people that today is the last day to apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. Our elections office is open till 5 p.m. today to receive those applications. Also, as of yesterday, our election office had processed 7,023 applications and have received back so far 3,642 voted ballots. So over half of them, the ballots have already been received back. So it's moving along, and the process is moving smoothly. So with that, Nicole, can you take us through the consent agenda, please?
Is that date today or is it October 31st? I thought it was a week before the election. From Sarah's meeting yesterday.
Well, wait.
I think it's
Is
next
that for the
Tuesday.
application, or is
The
that?
applications are due.
Due
The
to-
ballots are due the 31st.
Right.
The applications are due
Turn your ballot until 8 p.m. on election day.
today.
Yeah.
I think
You're
today,
right, there
yesterday,
is-
that's what,
There are 2 deadlines.
Yeah.
One is to register. I think that's the one that's.
and that's passed.
That's passed.
Oh,
It was
okay.
yesterday.
That was yesterday. Okay.
That's it.
And then
Okay.
the application is, okay.
Forgive me, I have the wrong date written down. It is the 31st.
I think it's just the week before.
Yeah, it is the
Please don't rush
31st.
this.
Yeah. Would you
And
like it to be earlier?
we would like it to be earlier. What
Maybe you are
CCAP has
panicked.
proposed is to take it back to 14 days. The
Yes.
State
it
Electoral
would
Law
be nice.
Advisory Board has asked for that.
It would be nice.
So I am wishful thinking. At any rate, the process is moving along well, and thank you, Nicole.
I'm sorry,
And we'll
thank
turn
you.
the consent agenda over to you at this time.
Thank you. Maybe you're just telling the future. That would be nice. All right. So today's consent agenda is Resolution 502. It's the payment of 3 warrant lists as outlined in your agenda in item A. That is a payment to Blair Community Action in the total amount of $17,788.77, and Blair Senior Services in the total amount of $2,182 and $492.791. Ratification of the 4 warrants lists as outlined in item B. It's the ratification of total payroll for the check dated October 20th, 2023, in the total amount of $851,588.36. It's budget transfers in items D, E, and F. It's requesting approval for payment application number 14. This is received from Francis J. Palo in the amount of $27,040.79. It's a ECMS submission, estimate number 6, in the total amount of $22,624.05 received from Francis J. Palo on the Bridge 70 project. Those expenses are partially reimbursed through the roadmap funding, and I'll just pause to say they were 100% funded through roadmap until we hit a certain point. We knew that that bridge was going to go over our $2 million allocation for that roadmap project. So we're getting to the end of that project where you'll see that they're just going to be partially reimbursed and the rest is out of county funds. It's an employment status change as outlined in item I, terminations and resignations in J and K respectively.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I am an aye with an abstention to the Blair Senior Services payments.
I'm an aye with an abstention to the Blair County Community Action Program payment. The consent agenda is approved with the abstentions as noted, and we'll start through item 10, staff reports and special business, and coroner's office, and Chief Deputy Coroner Ray Benton joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I present today a quote from Pittsburgh Public Safety Supply for the purchase of 13 badges. This is a vendor we've used in the past, Pittsburgh Public Safety. The adding of Blair County Coroner's Office onto the badge required a contract. So it should be attached to a one-page contract stating that they would stand and honor any mistakes that might be made on their part. The badges are indication of our law enforcement that we are a law enforcement agency in the county, and they're used as identification purposes. So I'd ask that, and the funding is available from the moving of funds from another line item to this line item, so it doesn't create any kind of increase in the 2023 budget. So I'd ask for your approval for this purchase.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
So you're moving funds. This is coming then from the general fund?
It is in the general fund, 2023 general fund, moving from one line item to the other line item. The line item that's it was removed from was from janitorial services, which is no longer an item that we use for our office, and moved to the uniform fund, which was a zero amount until we transferred that money over.
You also have the other funding sources. Is this not something that you can take from one of those?
This is not. This is not an item that can be used out of the 018 money or the newly created org for education. The 018 fund is safety equipment, stuff like fire, gear, and we are looking at the 2024 that we could purchase uniform out of that amount, uniform being protective clothing that the deputies would use in the field. But the badge itself would not be probably something that would fall under the 018 section.
Has the coroner's office always had badges?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened to why don't we still have those?
Well, I can't answer for prior practices, but I can tell you there's 4 in the office, 4 badges left. And of those 4, they need replaced. The coroner possesses a badge, I possess a badge as the chief deputy, and there's 2 deputy badges.
Does everybody have a county ID?
To my knowledge, ma'am, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we could put some sort of identification on that instead of investing in badges that apparently don't get reused or whatever? I hate to see us using money from the general fund to buy something like this when we already have an identification system in existence with our employee badges.
This would be equivalent to the sheriff's department, equivalent to the probation department, that not only has the same badge you're referencing, but they have a badge indicating their law enforcement ability. We are a law enforcement agency as well, and this is part of the identification on scene to other law enforcement agencies that we have the permission to be there.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I do, and only on this, you have, I went through and looked at these, you have a badge ordered for a position that does not exist at present time. I think that's premature, that shouldn't be in that order.
That's fine.
And, sure, and you need, how many deputies, can you remind me how many deputies you have? Because you have 13 of there's like over $500 for these flip, for the cases.
Yeah, that would be the case to protect the badge, like you would put the badge into the leather case and have it on your person. You could put it in your pocket. Or it could be also worn on a shirt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, if you want to see the badge, that it will be done that. I mean, it seems to me it makes more sense to have the badge and the photo ID together in some way, the identification, because that way it's not a badge. Obviously, if there are badges missing, there are badges floating around out there somewhere that shouldn't be, and that's, you know, to me, the security would be in that and kind of combo on that.
This design of badge is different than what we currently have at the office as well, so that would be a plus as to what's current.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But most people would not know.
That's correct, but we would.
And that's my concern, is if we get more badges, then there's more out there, and if there's something that we can control a little bit, or like these, it might be worth looking into something like that. So.
Could be a combination of putting that in the badge case, it's purchased for the badges, I believe earlier mentioned, as a photo along with the badge itself.
Just see, go ahead, I'm sorry. Okay. Just 2 other comments. One is on the budget itself, you know, the office is already going to be way over budget just because of the autopsies and toxicologies by the end of the year. So when you talk about a budget transfer, or even in terms of janitorial services, it's an indirect cost because we're still providing janitorial services if we're not paying for them with a contractor. You know, I'm just a little leery on that. It's not a big item, but we've tried to enforce some discipline in terms of budgeting. So
Well,
I'm thinking, I think this is a little bit premature, is I guess what I'm saying in general.
I'm not sure what you mean by premature. I can
I would
understand.
think I would wait till after you had taken office, and once, if you want to do a reorganization of the office, then take care of that and include the amount in the 2024 budget.
So one of the things that you indicated premature was the first deputy position. I put that in there because I don't know whether that's going to be passed in the budget or not. So that item could easily be removed.
Yeah, and it's not in the budget, it would be by salary board, so it's a kind of a, that's really where that position would be approved. I would just think that you may want to wait on some of these things until, I appreciate your initiative. You're taking a lot of initiative on a lot of things, and I laud you for that. I'm just not sure that that this is the right time for doing that. That another 2.5 months would make a huge difference, particularly if you have some badges already now to cover people who apparently are doing most of the work.
I don't, but I'm at your mercy, so
No.
you tell me what you.
I
Well,
guess that was kind of where I was going in my head was how, and I'm not your liaison, so I'm not as familiar, but how you said you only have 4 badges now, so you have one, Corner Ross has one, and then there are 2 others. Do your deputies have to trade out who has them, or are they assigned to specific people at this point?
Prior to my arrival at the office, they were assigned. I have my badge, and I know of 2 other deputy badges that exist. I, of course, have the coroner's badge. I don't know or could answer to the question of where they're at or how they got disseminated or how they didn't get returned. I don't know. I don't.
So do you have people you're sending out currently where they're going to a scene and they don't have identification?
Yes.
other discussion? We'll move this along to Thursday's
Okay.
business agenda. There probably will be more questions for you on that if you're available.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item B, children, youth, and families. Is that awesome? Tiffany, good morning.
Good morning. Allison is our new program specialist. She's taking care of contracts, so this is going to be her first rundown.
Wow.
We are requesting approval of a County of Blair agreement for purchases under the bidding threshold between County of Blair and Dutchess Hauling. We have the 10-yard container for up to 2 weeks is $325. A 15-yard container up to 2 weeks is $375. And then the cost per ton over the free allotment is $78. These are paid for with our housing grant. So we've never had to use county funds to pay for them. We've used that grant to cover the costs. We were cleaning up contracts and we've never had a contract with Dutchess Hauling, so that's why we're requesting a contract.
This is a really good service. Do you want to talk about why you might
I was
need?
gonna ask.
Yeah, because it's a really good service that the children and youth provides to our families.
Yeah.
So, and why? it's
We
important.
receive general protective service referrals, and sometimes like we're assisting families with cleaning deplorable home conditions. So in order to keep the children in the home, on most instances, we're providing the dumpsters for the family to be able to clean up the home, and then we're able to keep those children out of the court system. And we provide these like very frequently.
That is good if that allows a child to be with, in the home with the family. That makes perfect sense. So. Okay. Questions, comments? Move that to Thursday's business agenda. You're welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
Allison.
you.
Item C from the prison, Deputy Warden Whiteside.
Good morning.
Good
I
morning.
apologize for coming for another contract outside of contract policy. I thought we had this settled, but back in June, there was a flood at the prison. The kitchen and F block housing unit were affected. Our maintenance staff attempted to clear the drain and couldn't clear it. So Roto-Rooter was called in and cleared it up and got it settled. The maintenance department was attempting to sign a contract with Roto-Rooter. It's still out in the system, hasn't been signed yet. So Cole forwarded this to me. It'll be paid for out of our funds as listed. I think it's $324. It's outstanding to Roto-Rooter since June. And we're just asking permission to pay it outside of the normal contract policy. And I apologize again for coming again.
Glad you're cleaning them up. And any questions here? Take that.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
And lastly, from the Commissioner's Office, Allison Sankovich.
Morning. So I'm here today for the first item to request approval of the revised County of Blair Right to Know Law policy pursuant to the Right to Know Law Act as outlined on the agenda. This is just due to us reviewing the current policy we had. We noticed it was a little lengthy and a little just syntactically out of order, so we just cleaned it up a little bit and rearranged it to just be more user-friendly and to include or rather separate the definition section of some of the terms at the very bottom of the policy. And this does mimic almost very, very closely to the one that is current from the Pennsylvania, right to know office. So I just am asking to get approval to post that on the website.
And this would accompany our right to know, the county's right to know application. Is that
Correct.
The form as well. Yep, the process for that to streamline it.
So the one thing we did clarify in the policy is that the form wouldn't be necessary. So no longer will we take a blanket email requesting a document. We will then send the requester back the form, and they'll have to fill out the form. And to some, that sounds like an administrative burden on the requester, but actually it makes Allison and I's job a lot easier when fulfilling requests, because it does tell us if the requester is willing to pay a fee for the request or up to a certain amount, if they want it in what format. And there's some other things on the form that are very important for us to have at our disposal. This did go through solicitor review. He's comfortable that is an allowable kind of path for the county to take to require the form. So it's allowable under right to know law. So everything's been passed through legal and approved.
Any questions or discussion?
So we didn't require a form, and now we are requiring a form.
Correct.
So I would think, did the majority in the past come in on the form?
Yeah, I would say a lot of them do,
Form.
yes.
Probably 8 out of 10
Yeah.
come with the
Yeah.
form. So it's not anything that we're asking for over and above.
Understood. Okay, thank you. You have a second item, Allison?
Yep, so the second item is just requesting to approve to amend Resolution 239, 2023, dated May 11, 2023. This approved Keller Engineers for design and construction services for the rehab of County Road 105. And this is just to add language, as you see on your agenda there, the source of funding is coming from the ARPA funds for $299,996. So that is just language to add to the already approved resolution.
That was a lengthy discussion we had at the meeting. It did appear in the minutes. Unfortunately, it didn't appear as a line in the resolution. So as we get to the end of our ARPA funds, we expect this contract would have to potentially go past 2024, which is the deadline to obligate funds. That resolution is what obligates funds. So I wanted to have that line specifically in that, so that when we're going to do our reporting with Susquehanna Accounting Services, we're able to produce that as proof that we've allocated those funds prior to the end of the year that we have to contract funds for.
So, very good. Questions for Allison or Nicole? Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Reached the end of our staff reports and special business. We have no old business, and so we're going to adjourn at this time. And thank everyone for their participation in today's meeting.